Miracles happen and still happen in Venezuela. A young boy was rescued today against all odds from the earthquake that ravaged Venezuela. Our cameras were there recording that moment. Welcome to From the Field. I'm Carlos Montero. You know we are following the World Cup, but under these circumstances, we are going to start with Venezuela. Later in the program, we are going to start about the 32 knockout round that started today, and we already have a team that's going to the round of 16. We will tell you about that all later, but let's be up to date with Venezuela. The death toll from the double earthquake has risen to 1,432. You remember the earthquake registered magnitude of 7.2 and 7.5. The President of the National Assembly today said that the number of the dead people, and also he said there are 3,150 injured, and also mentioned that the government has activated a post-earthquake mental plan. He said that there are more than 1 million people suffer psychological distress after the double earthquake. Absolutely understanding, and we have to tell you also that there are a lot of people missing yet. The labor of rescue still going on at these hours when we are presenting this show. Let's go to La Guaira, one of the places that was really shaken by those two earthquakes. Belén dos Santos is over there. Belén, good afternoon. How is the situation right now?
Hello, Carlos. How are you? Well, it's, of course, one more difficult day. I was listening to you talking about following the World Cup, and definitely we never imagined that we would be in this situation. But we promised a World Cup that would be lived from the territory and from Latin America, and that is what we're doing. And Latin America today is putting us in the face of this tragedy that we are joining and going by with the Venezuelan people. We are here in La Guaira, as you were saying, so a little bit of what is happening. It's the fourth day since the twin earthquakes struck Venezuela. That means that the rescue teams continue to work, but of course we are more and more farther away from the moment of the tragic incident of the earthquakes. Nevertheless, we still saw a number of recoveries, almost miracle recoveries taking place. The international brigades are deployed here in La Guaira. Let's recall one of the most hit areas of Venezuela, the hardest hit by these twin earthquakes. Let's recall also, to put a little bit in context, to understand the magnitude of these twin earthquakes, some numbers that were given today by Jorge Rodriguez, not only the casualties and the injured people that you were just mentioning, but also these twin earthquakes caused damage in over 700 buildings. Of those, 180 buildings completely collapsed. That speaks of the magnitude of this twin earthquake event. It continues to be studied, the coincidence of such strong earthquakes and what it caused in major structures. And here in La Guaira we can see that in buildings, in bridges, and of course you see also all the deployment in order to deal with that crisis. So we were saying we have in this fourth day recovery efforts that continue despite the hours that have passed, because there are some eventual rescues that continue to happen today. And also it's an important day in terms of what you were also mentioning, all the efforts that are being done in terms of protecting and assisting all the survivors. That is all the population in Venezuela, particularly those in the places that were hardest hit, and La Guaira is one of them. We are talking about places where donations are being held and distributed to anyone who comes there in search of food, water, clothes. Let's recall that a lot of people is also staying through these days in the streets because some of the buildings have collapsed or are in risk of collapsing, and also they do not want to be far away from where the rescue efforts continue in search of friends and family, for example. So La Guaira is a place in which we are seeing these sites of distribution. You were also mentioning the psychological assistance that is also being tackled across the country. And I wanted to add another important thing that was also revealed and addressed mainly during the day, that has to do with the recollection, the systematization, and the possibility of offering the population a safe and unified way in which they can look for their disappeared people, for example. And that was an official site that was also announced today when Jorge Rodriguez spoke. So as we were saying, this systematic effort to gather all information and make it available, the psychological assistance, the supply distribution, it all speaks to the different efforts that have to do with helping those survivors. So we have all the efforts on the ground with the international brigades as well, regarding saving as many lives as possible, and now also the assistance of everyone else, because you know that there is a long road ahead of us, and it is with the Venezuelan people. It has to do with recovery, with reconstruction, Carlos, here.
Evelyn, I'm surprised you are on the ground and we read a lot of information on paper, social media, and I see people, you are in an avenue in La Guaira and it looks like the people walking, cars driving by, and the information I was reading maybe was wrong. I want you to clarify. They said that people in Caracas, they wanted to really help what's going on in that area that was hurt so bad for the earthquake. And the problem is people were trying to get there, and trying to get there, they were having problem to the rescue team. They couldn't go because there were too many people they were trying to help. How is that situation?
Exactly. Well, you were saying it very, very well. There was, in the initial moments, a lot of people wanted to come to this area that was the hardest hit, many because they wanted to help. And this is north of Caracas, but not a very long road ahead. So a lot of people wanted to come. It did hinder when we started to see more rescue teams coming, larger efforts, because of course in the first hours it was all about understanding and assessing the damage. And when authorities saw the extent of the damage, and it's a lot, structural damage here in La Guaira with its effects on human lives, of course, as well, the amount of rescue teams that also started to come from an international level, they needed a wider access to the place, and the massive population or the impulse of coming to volunteer was hindering that access. That is one of the reasons why the region of La Guaira was militarized. This was addressed a couple of days ago by Acting President teleSUR Rodriguez, explaining these reasons. This people, as you were saying, can come and go. Here there's a lot of people, there's a lot of local people here that are assisting the recovery efforts, that are going to these centers of assistance also, that are moving around and also helping in some of these sites. But there is not as much affluence from Caracas, for example, and that has a lot of reasons. One was the one that you were saying, the necessity of clearing the roads for rescue teams. Another is that some of the the rescue efforts need specific things. For example, they need silence. When we are walking here and when we were reporting during the day, when the rescue teams are working, there's a specific moment in which the way that they detect if there may be a human live under the debris is by listening to possible cries or noises, and for that they need extreme silence. They need to tell cars to turn their engines off, the motorbikes as well. The people all have a sign and then do extreme silence. Imagine how difficult that is. We needed to come away and even report very quietly from far away, not to disturb those efforts. Imagine if everyone was just moving around the place. So those were some of the reasons why it was better for this place not to be as crowded. And that is the situation here. Now, as you were saying, as the hours go by, although the rescue efforts continue, they have not completely stopped. The international brigades are working, but of course, we will see in the coming hours how that effort is slowly moving to what is coming, and what is coming is tending and assisting to all the survivors and everything that comes ahead.
Belén de los Santos, thank you very much. Follow Belén on social media, follow telesur, the hashtag We Stand with Venezuela. You need the information from the ground. Belén is on the ground, so don't get confused with so much information is going on right now. Let's keep talking about Venezuela. The Pope today expressed solidarity with people in Venezuela. Catholics all over the world, they were together praying for the victims. Charlie has the chance to go to the cathedral of the city of Mexico City, and that's what he found.
Hey Carlos, how are you? As recovery efforts continue in Venezuela after the devastating earthquake, churches around the world have called for a day of prayer. We are here in the Cathedral of Mexico City, where worshipers are gathering in prayer following the Venezuelan bishops' conference call for a nationwide day of prayer for the victims of this week's devastating earthquakes. The bishops are asking Catholics across the country to pray for those who have lost their lives, the injured, and the communities affected, while also encouraging donations and support for survivors.
Hermanos y hermanas de Venezuela, que el Señor nos conforte en esta necesidad, que reciban también a través de nosotros la oración y la solidaridad concreta, que el Señor reciba y dé el descanso eterno a quienes han fallecido y consuele a sus deudos, a sus familiares.
Oh Lord, please open our hearts so that we all assist to the people in Venezuela who are suffering, who don't have their homes, who don't have anything to eat. Please be so gracious and make us send our help so that we do your will. Amen.
I would like to say them that they should be strong and that they can be with their family again, and that they shouldn't lose hope.
Les mando oraciones por ustedes porque pasaron los terremotos de 7.2 y 7.5 y que voy a rezar por sus familiares de que están desaparecidos.
I wish everybody that's lost a loved one to have open hearts, because tragedies happen, and I wish that all the family that lost people, I'm going to pray for them and be well for them. I wish them the best.
From the Cathedral in Mexico City, Charlie Montero. Back to you, Carlos.
Thank you, Charlie. Of course, here they're playing the matches of the World Cup. Yesterday were the last 6 matches of the group section, and in all those 6 matches after singing the national anthem, they prayed and they did one moment of silence. Remember all the victims of this earthquake. Also, social media, we are getting different information. The one I want to share with you is from the Sport Marítimo de La Guaira. They confirm that for the eternal rest of Janine de Trejo wife, she's the wife of a player. That's what they are saying. Why yesterday, like I mentioned, there were the minute of silence. The picture of the football player and their family. The entire club, Sport Marítimo de La Guaira, offer its condolence of the passing of the loved one, which occurred on June 24 during the earthquake that shook the entire country. The club executive, coaches, player, administrative, and operational staff pray to God for the eternal rest of Lucas Trejo family member. That was very sad. Also, yesterday, different players. Yesterday, Colombia played, a different Colombian players who they play honestly an excellent game. They tied with Portugal, but after the match, they make some time to remember what's going on in Venezuela. What they have to say is that.
Stay strong, Venezuela. We're very aware of what they're going through. The truth is, they're our compatriots and great friends too. Stay incredibly strong, everyone. May they get through all of this. It won't be easy. But by trusting in God, He'll give them the strength to get through it.
Greetings, Venezuela. Stay strong, stay hopeful.
To our Venezuelan brothers and sisters, we hope that God will take control, that we're here for you, that we're praying, and that it's important to stand united. I know it's not easy, these are difficult times, so a big hug to the entire nation, to our Venezuelan brothers and sisters, and hopefully things will get better soon.
Honestly, well, it's a very difficult time for Venezuela. It's really affected all of us, I think. Obviously, I want to wish them a lot of strength during this very hard time. But like everyone else, everyone is seeing what's happening, and it hurts us all.
It's a very hard time, obviously, watching the images from afar. So, well, I just want to send the Venezuelan people a big hug and lots of strength from here.
A big kiss, and honestly, it really saddens me what's happening there, and as a fellow South American country, I wish them all the best, and we'll do whatever we can to help.
Argentina beat last night 3-1 Jordania, but also the Football Association of Argentina, they published a tweet, remember the people of Venezuela. In that tweet, what they say is, Venezuela, we are with you, and a heart to show them that all the Argentine, not only the player, the whole country is with Venezuela in this tough moment. We are going to talk absolutely to have the voice of some fans later. Not only on football, also we have some comments about Venezuela, the Formula One driver Sergio Pérez. Let's see what Sergio Pérez was saying. He said, nuestros corazones están con ustedes, Venezuela, pensando en todos ustedes, con una fotografía de este corredor de la Fórmula 1. Okay, we have to do a short break. We are going to come back quickly with information about what's going on in the World Cup. Today started the round of 32, but let's go to the break with the sound of some fans from Colombia offering hope to the Venezuelan people.
Vivo en Cali, soy venezolana. De verdad tengo un sentimiento de dolor, de tristeza por todo lo que ha pasado. Mis sinceras palabras de condolencia a todas las personas que perdieron familiares y agradecida con Dios por aquellas personas que pudieron sobrevivir.
Desde Cali brindamos un mensaje de solidaridad a todos nuestros hermanos venezolanos y queremos extenderles nuestro brazo de ayuda y queremos invitarlos a todos a que hagamos parte y tendamos la mano, porque hoy ellos nos necesitan.
Esperamos que puedan tener muchas ayudas. Invitamos a todos los colombianos también a que demos nuestro granito de arena.
Quiero mandar mi más sincero apoyo a todas las personas en Venezuela, aquí desde Colombia y para todos.
Y los invito a todos los colombianos, a todos los suramericanos y europeos que estén viendo, que apoyemos a Venezuela. Es el momento de mostrar nuestro aprecio y cariño por ese hermoso país.
Bueno, mi gente de Venezuela, aquí desde Cali, Colombia, dándole mucha fuerza, mucho apoyo, mucha solidaridad, parte de todos nuestros hermanos colombianos.
Primero que todo, que Dios los bendiga y que les ayude en estos momentos tan difíciles cuando necesitan la solidaridad, no solamente de los colombianos, sino de todo el mundo. No nos olvidemos de los venezolanos en este difícil momento, oremos por ellos y ayudemos.
Today we all took a little break from football to think about Venezuela. Usually we've been playing 6 matches a day. Today was only 1 match. Why? Because started the round of 32. one of the home team, Canada, play against South Africa. Was a very close game. Everybody was thinking they're going to go to the extra time and then on penalty because they didn't score. But when it was almost over the game, the midfielder Steven Eustachio scored. Of course, Canadian people were celebrating like crazy because it's going to be the first time that Canada is going to go to the round of 16. South Africa is going home. They are making the suitcase to leave to South Africa. Let's go to analyze the match of today and what's going on so far in the World Cup. Hamid Mark is with us from Florida. Hamid, nice talking to you. We are talking about Canada going to the next round, South Africa going home, but that takes me to the point I want to ask you. 9 out of 10 African teams, including South Africa, that's going now, advanced to the next round, to the rounds of 32. Tunisia was the only one was eliminated. What do you think about this great moment is going on with the African football?
So I think it's a very good day for African football. Again, you said 9 teams made it to the knockout stages. The African teams have really been surprising us in the group stages of this tournament. And speaking of this game, I thought South Africa played very well. They're going to be very disappointed that it didn't go into extra time or possibly penalties because I don't think that Canada dominated them in this game. I thought it was pretty 50-50 up until Canada scored that first goal. So the African nations should be very proud. South Africa is now the first African team to be knocked out in the knockout stages, but they played very well. And a lot of these players should be very, very proud of themselves. They were lacking a little bit of that quality in the final third, but everything for that was very, very good. The defense with Monkazi and Okan very, very well. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if top clubs in the European leagues look out for those guys to strengthen their back line. I think that the African teams in South Africa did very, very well. They should hold their head up high that they did that well. But congratulations to Canada. They make it through to the round of 16, the first time ever they made it through a round of 16 in the World Cup. So congratulations to the Canadians.
Hamid, I was watching a very funny video about Cape Verde players. They are going to have to play Argentina, one of the favorites who hasn't lost yet in the World Cup. But with a very sense of humor, they were singing 1%, 1%, 1%. That's what people say, that's the possibility they have to beat Argentina. You think it's so low, or they can give a surprise and they can play to Argentina the way they play with other teams in the first round?
So honestly, I think 1% is being very, very generous. I think there's a 0% chance that Cape Verde will beat Argentina. I did see a funny reel as well, as like it's kind of like Argentina has to forgive the fan base for taking out the darling of the World Cup so far. But sadly for Cape Verde, this is where their run ends. I don't think they have a chance to beat Argentina. Now, again, it is football, so crazy things can happen. That's why they call it a beautiful game. But if we suspect that Lionel Messi and company play like how they have been playing, they're in the group stage, and I have them going all the way to the finals, I don't think Cape Verde have enough to beat Argentina. Even if they stay structured and organized and keep a clean sheet and it goes into extra time, I think on penalties, you don't have enough players with experience or know-how in the Cape Verde side to beat them in penalties. So whichever way you look at it, I think Argentina is going through, and I think they're going to go through relatively comfortably.
But give them a break, at least 1% maybe. Hamid, I would like to ask you, we were seeing a graphic before of the matches of the group of 32. Which match are you looking forward? Which match are you looking forward to see? What do you recommend us?
So in this round of 32, it's the second round, so you have a lot of mismatches. I think there's a lot of games that are going to be one-sided, like USA and Bosnia. I think that would be a one-sided game with USA winning. But look out for the Brazil-Japan game. Japan has been playing very, very well in the group stages. I think they've been one of the best in terms of a team play in the tournament. And Brazil, we already know what Brazil can do. but there's still a lot of questions with Brazil. We don't like Neymar may or may not start, may or may not come off the bench and get maybe like a 30 minutes, but we don't know what this Brazil team can do. They look kind of inconsistent, especially going forward. And this Japan team is very well structured, very organized, and have very good players. So Japan might upset one of the greatest footballing nations in the world in Brazil in that game. So definitely look out for that one. That one's going to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Japan and Brazil is going to be a very, very fun game. The rest of the games are pretty much one-sided. You kind of know how they're going to go. So I would say that's the game to look out for.
Tomorrow, Brazil, Japan, Germany, Paraguay, Netherlands, Marruecos. Thank you, Hamid, the man of the $1 million smile. Thank you very much. He has a beautiful smile. Canada is, this World Cup, there are 3 home teams. Canada is the first one of the 3 who qualify for the next round, and people, as you can imagine, they are celebrating like crazy. Hector Villiaris in Toronto with some information.
Thank you so much. I'm here in Toronto, Canada, one of the headquarters of this Football World Cup 2026. Canada celebrated joyfully victory to South Africa 1-0. It was Stephen Eustáquio who scored at 22 minutes, a historic win for Canada. And here I have a fan who will comment some remarks of what happened here in this match.
Yeah, we're really happy with the game today at Victory of Canada. It's the first knockout game, which I think we did a really good job. I think throughout the whole game in general, it was a really tight game up until the 92nd minute. Once this 92nd minute, thanks to Eustáquio, we managed to score, and I think today Canada was really happy. But to the opposite team, they played really well. It was a really one-on-one game, so I was really excited for the game today. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This is information we bring to you for teleSUR. The fans continue cheering up their team, celebrating their win 1-0, but it will be a short celebration because the 8th quarters are coming. Canada will face some other teams. It might be Morocco or the Netherlands according to their classifications. But now they are celebrating because for the first time they advanced to the 16th, and they will be completing once again 1-0 to South Africa. For teleSUR, Hector Villar from Toronto, 2026.
Thank you, Hector. Congratulations, Canada. This is all for this half an hour from the field. See you tomorrow, but we are going to leave you with some sound from Argentine people giving the condolence and support to Venezuela. See you tomorrow.
Mandamos fuerzas y saludos a todos los de Venezuela.
Sí, mucha fuerza para Venezuela.
Abrazo fuerte para Venezuela, que está pasando por una situación muy difícil. Que salgan adelante.
Que Dios los siga iluminando y le dé la fortaleza a las personas que perdieron a su familia.
Un saludo muy grande y muchas fuerzas para todo el pueblo de Venezuela que están sufriendo ahora, así que nada, todo el apoyo desde Argentina para ellos.
Bueno, desde acá de Argentina queremos mandarle mucha fuerza y un abrazo enorme a nuestros hermanos venezolanos que sabemos que están pasando por un momento terrible.
Le mando un saludo a Venezuela, que hay mucha fuerza, que salgan adelante y bueno, toda la ayuda de Argentina va y todo por ahí.
En este momento tan trágico para ustedes, Latinoamérica siempre unida, así que esperemos que se recuperen pronto. Fuerzas Venezuela.
Desde el sur del continente, enviarles este abrazo que esperemos de la vuelta al mundo y que llegue a todos los y las venezolanas en este momento tan duro. Y bueno, esperemos que salgan adelante muy pronto, que puedan minimizar los daños y que puedan sentir el acompañamiento de todos los que los tenemos presentes cada día.